going to start off with question 8A, which is on page 14, May 2024. Okay, so you all have access to the student file? Yes. Okay, if you don't have access to the student file, it's under the NATA Drive question papers, May 2024. Okay, but you'll obviously listen to me first. So those of you who's Viant will obviously not be able to access this at the moment. Okay, let's start. So they are asking you to retrieve the experience that has been saved in the computer practice folder. So that's what we're doing at the moment. And then they ask you to insert a header. Okay, now I want you to kind of adapt to a method that's going to work for you. Okay, what am I trying to say? When you start with Excel, you obviously have the picture or the screenshot or the template, whatever you want to call it, that is found on the next page. Okay. Now this one is found on page 17. You can see it. It's a landscape one. Now you need to find a way that's going to work for you. For me, the following works, and you can either adapt my strategy or you can adopt your own, but have a strategy. So I'm going to enable the editing. And when I say have a strategy, what I'm actually meaning is I'm trying to say that try to start somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to start with insert the header. Okay, you all know how to do this. This is really basic stuff. But please don't make mistakes here because you lose marks. Insert the question number and your examination number and the computer number. Okay, now by now you should know that your instructions actually start at the previous page, which is page 13, and that goes for all the other sections. I think by now you're quite used to that. You need to use Arial 10, okay? So currently it's actually set to Calibri, mine. Yours will probably be on default. And then you have to insert by number 3 your examination number and on computer number left align. Okay. Now, this is obviously going to be your ID number. So it's going to be 150 ... Please get into the habit of just putting in for the external examination your computer number, even if it does print a watermark. It's just a safeguard. Okay, we don't want anybody to throw your question paper out in the external marking center for whatever reason. Okay, then on the left hand side, we've got that. On the right hand side, we have our question number, which is all in capital letters. And that is going to be question 8A. Please, if it's A, make it A. Don't press escape now because then it's going to go away. Just press somewhere else and then you can press escape. Okay. Let me just erase this quickly. Okay, now let's quickly engage into that. So, as I was saying, you need to adopt a strategy. My strategy is now to actually go into the question paper and see what I need to do. In other words, I'm actually going to engage with page 17. All right. But at number 4, please just change the payout to page layout to landscape. Mine is already, I think it was already saved like that. Okay. Now, for those of you, I'm just quickly looking at this. If you see the hashtags, please don't get worried. It just means it's obviously need to zoom in or zoom out. All right. Let's start on page 17. So I want you to now look at your row 1 and engage with your row 1 on your piece of paper. Okay. Staff information, says it needs to be center uppercase. Now, a lot of you really didn't struggle with this at all because you know what you're doing. It's just a bit weird now that they're not asking for it to be merged, because how can you center something that's like that? Okay, I assume, and I don't want to assume, but I think what have maybe been left out is that it should be merged. Okay? Are you with me? Because it just doesn't make sense. Remember, you're going to control X this. All right? Then you are going to go. I just quickly want to change my view to normal. I'm going to merge everything from A to M on this time. And then you're going to say equal. For me, it's just easier to go into the upper. But if you want to type it in, be my guest. But then you must remember your inverted commas. Yes? It's a long one to type in. So I will just go and do the copy what. Okay? Are you still with me? Then it must be centered. Now, for that to be centered, it kind of makes sense that it needs to be merged. I can't see that I would let you assume that. So hopefully what the examiner probably did is they came in and they said, merging. Then the next one is to be right align, lowercase, use a function. Now, can you see we haven't done a lot of this really, but it's the same thing. What do you think? What's the opposite of upper? Lower. Okay. I think it had to be merged because now this is right aligned. You agree with me? So you're going to start with an equal sign. You're going to go to fx and you're going to type in lower. You're going to double click, same thing, and you're going to say, okay. And it's going to take it there. Are you with me, darlings? Because remember, when you do this, I want to see the lower and the upper. Okay. I'm actually glad we're doing this question paper. It's a little bit different. Okay. Now, by insert the date in E4, that's my next one. Now, I don't know why it's here, but let's erase that and let's insert the date. Okay, now remember there is a difference between equal now and equal today. Okay, let's quickly look at the two differences. Equal today, double click. Okay, just press enter. Is going to give you the date. Okay, what is the difference when I exchange today to now? Can you remember that? Should give me actually the time. Okay, don't know why it's not giving me the time. That's really weird. Let's check if I do it here. Okay. There. Okay, I think it was because it took up the today first. Can you see the difference? This is today. This is now. This is today. Are you with me? Okay, so please know the difference. If they ask you for the date and time, you're going to use now. Please make notes for yourself if you want to. If they are asking for the date only, it's going to be equals today. Okay, because there's no way for me to be able to do all of that. Then they are asking for our G to be bold, italic, center, H and V. What does H and V mean? Horizontally and vertically. So you're going to select all of those things. It needs to go into bold. It needs to go into italics. It needs to be centered. How do we center something horizontally and vertically? Do you remember this one and that one? These two together, ne? Okay, it's from info. Okay, so we are done with that part that is written in row 5. Then we are moving into row I. Row I is asking you, sorry, I'm actually just going on according, I'm not even using this stuff, but let's go back to question 5A. It says use a function to number the salesperson. Okay. Now, if you look at your question paper, they're referring to this part over here that you see on the board that I'm pointing at. Okay? Now, you cannot simply go 1, 2. If you are in 4, you can do that because I'm not going to ask you for a question, for a formula. Are you with me? But obviously, you're going to get marks in 6. So what do? We say equals. We take the number 1. We add a 1 because 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, and then we drag that down. Can you see if I then go and ask you for a function, you can get more for that? Are you with me, darlings? We haven't practiced that a lot, so please just take note of that. Let's go to question B. 5B is asking you to calculate the experience in years by using the date in E4 and the information in column C. Okay. Appointment date. Okay, so basically they are asking you the date. They want to know if you take, it's almost like that date of birth, ne? So you're going to say equals that minus the other date. Now, if it was in the correct date, yeah, in other words, it was both dates, you can now just subtract the two, ne? But then remember, what do we still have to do with this thing? We have to put this into brackets and then we have to divide it by 365.25. Do you still remember that? Okay, so it's 10 years. Okay, must I quickly do this with you again? Okay. Do you all understand why we would take this and subtract that? Okay, you all understand that? Okay, think about your date of birth. This year that we are at is 2025. If you were born in 2000, you are 25 years old. Okay, but let's say you didn't know that. What did you actually do? I'm not talking about your month. I'm just talking about the year. Okay, minus 2000. Okay, you can now then you borrow whatever, and then you get 25. That's the difference. Okay, so think about it. It's most now the latest date. Mathematically, that makes sense. You can't take 2000 minus 2025, then you're going to be negative. Okay, so you take the bigger one, the lightest one. Same with this one. This is the lightest one. This is today. Okay, this was when they started. They want to know how many years have they been. It's like me asking you, how long have you been at the college? 2025, you maybe started in 2018, you already started with NCV. How long have you been here? 7 years. Okay, that's the same thing. It looks weird because both are in dates. That's why it's important that both are in the date. If I'm talking about date, I'm talking about that must be date. Obviously, it's on number now, so it says number there. Okay, so that's why we say E4. E4 is the latest date. Are you with me? Minus the original date. Now that can be for your birth date, for any date. You can actually say here, it must be end and start. When you were born, it started most. Today is the end date. Are you with me, darling? Why is it in brackets? Because BODMAS. Ne? Now remember, Excel doesn't need BODMAS, but if you don't give it BODMAS, it's still going to divide first and then subtract. That's going to be a whole horror story. So you unfortunately have to do that. Why do we divide by 365.25? Because in essence, we must actually have 3, 6, 7 each 4 years because it's a leap year. You remember that? And because we have one extra, this is just for the mass around us, there's one extra most. Ne? If we divide it by 4, we get 0.25. So actually, if we have to be very, very mathematically correct, we divide by 36.25. Because 0.25 is actually a quarter, which is 1 divided by 4. Okay, but if you've lost me at hello, just remember that, that you need to divide it by that. Are you with me, darlings? Okay, let's carry on. Right, so, let's see one of my, okay, so now we get 10 years. And now we can actually go and we can autofill it. Are you with me? So then we're going to do this. Woo! Gonna patat. Why? Okay, I know what's going on. This is actually a very cool way of asking this. Do you get that everything needs to be subtracted by E4? So what are we going to make E4? An absolute cell reference, which is pressing F4. This is a nice one. I've never seen this one before. So they're asking you a lot of stuff in one. But can you see, even if you didn't like myself, realize that you can always go back. Just ask yourself the question, what am I doing? Does that make sense to everybody? Why am I using F4? Because remember, the date must be the same for everybody. If I don't freeze F4, it's going to take F5, E6, E det. Are you with me, darlings? Okay, let's carry on to C. Now, C is found. Now, I just quickly, maybe you forgot this from N4, or maybe you were not with me in N4. But I just want you to quickly read I for me. I says use a function. Okay, now technically, if we need to be very technical, we must actually say equals sum. And we must say one. I wonder if they're going to take this because they are asking for a function. You understand what I'm saying? So they can be very technical and saying that if I said sum, then they want it to be like this. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't ask to calculate. Hey, Shmara, no, this is not going to work. Don't do it like this. I'm just thinking because they are saying equals. You know what they can do? Let's quickly think. It doesn't make sense. Maybe. Okay, I know this is how we teach you this. So maybe it might have been a mistake from the examiner to say it like that. But normally I should have read you calculate. Okay, because we're not using a function. B is calculate because we didn't use a function. Did we use any function here? No, those are all formulas. Remember, calculate means minus, addition, multiplication, division. Are you with me? Assign, now let's go to C. Assign the name bonus to the reference table, don. Okay, now let's do this. Assign the name bonus to the reference table and use this reference table and the appropriate function. You obviously know when we start with referencing tables, then it's probably going to be a H or a VLOOKUP. Okay? So let's quickly look at where is H19 all the way to H20. It looks like it's going to be a H lookup. Are you with me? Okay? So we're going to right click. And we are going to say we want to define a name. Okay, remember, if you're not sure of what's going on in your sheet or in your workbook, you can go to formulas and just say name manager and just make sure there is nothing there. Or maybe if you have defined your name and you have now said here bonus and it's not the right one, you can go back into name manager and you can say edit and you can just say edit it. Okay, anything is possible. Are you with me, darlings? All right, so let's start there. Now, they are asking you to use the reference table and the appropriate function to calculate and display the bonus. Now, let's just get what's going on here. According to the years in Gauteng, which is this that we've just calculated, okay, it's assigned a specific bonus. So our reference is the years in Gauteng. Are you with me? Okay. But we're not going to worry about that because we're using our magic wand here, which is our FX. We know each and H lookup because it's a horizontal table. Okay. I hope you can all see that. And we're going to go. And we're going to double click. So the lookup value is this one. What is the table array? It is bonus, and make sure you spell that correctly. Okay, we'll probably do a reference table now, but let's just do the one with the name. Are we now looking at the first row or the second row? The second row, because that's the answer. The answer is always the index 2. Are you with me? Okay, now let's draw that. Okay, now I want you to be prepared. In the exam, if you get an NI, you know what I'm talking about. The most possible thing that probably happened to you is that you either only selected this, you only supposed to select that when it's a reference table. Okay, make a note. If it's a reference table in the sense of you are selecting the actual data, are you with me? And you're pressing F4, then you're excluding the headings. You remember that, Windvogel, we did that, ne? When it is a reference table defining a name, you are going to include the headings. If you get confused, just switch it around until you find it. But don't waste too much time. Please time yourself. Okay, let's go to number D. Assign the name price to the reference table in L22. So it's all of this. Again, it is a table name, so we can include the headings. What is something I'm not currently doing that I have taught you, but there's a reason I'm not doing it? Yes, I'm not sorting. Why am I not sorting? Because I can see most it's right. There is a great chance that it will probably ask you to sort. Then don't include the headings. It must make sense to not include the headings. Okay? Remember, when we are sorting this, then we go to home, we say sort and filter, we say custom sort, and we have to say options, and we have to say left to right if it is a horizontal table. We cannot sort up to down because it's not vertical. Are you with me? But okay, we're not going to worry about that now because it is already sorted. How do I know it? I must see small to big. Or otherwise, it should have been in alphabetical order. Okay, let's quickly rename this. So right click, define the name. The name is price. And I say, okay. Now you need to use the reference table and the appropriate function. What is the appropriate function? It's going to be an H lookup, and a V lookup because it's vertical, to calculate and display the commission earned on sale. Display your answer in South African currency. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. So you are going to do it and then go to the next one. So first, let's engage with what are they asking. We're going to go to the FX. We are going to choose the H lookup. What is the lookup value? Okay, according to the price of the car. You agree with me? Because look, let's just look here. The price of the car is the lookup value, yes. And then it's going to have a commission earned, okay? But now you need to be very careful because they are asking you the commission earned on the sale. Can you see it's not going to be the second column, it's going to be the third column. Are you with me, darlings? What's wrong? Huh? Yo, oh, okay, yo, but why don't you? I did say VLOOKUP and then I choose the H lookup. Okay. Sorry, yes, of course. Of course it should be a VLOOKUP. It's a VLOOKUP. Okay. The lookup value is this. Ne? The table array is price. The column index is not going to be 2. Do you see that? It's going to be 3. It's not the percentage they're asking. It's the commission earned on the sale. Are you with me? Okay, please be mindful of that. And then you're going to drag it down. All good with that? Now let's look at number E. Number E is referring to column K, and it's saying that you need to use an appropriate function. So you know, obviously by now you're in 6, to display the first 6 characters of the sales surnames of the salesperson, what are we going to use? What are we going to use? If we look at the salesperson, what are we going to use? Left or right? Okay, they want the first 6 characters of the surnames. Okay, but how difficult is that going to be now? Because how do you, if you use left, and you say, okay, but they start with their surname. So it's fine. I'm trying to now be more critical than I have to be. Double click left. What is your text? You click on it. What is it? 6. Okay, I was now thinking, imagine now if the second name was not the name. So, okay, they're not going to try to trick you. Sebaka, and then we're going to go all the way there. Okay, now, are you with me, darlings? Some of them are going to have commas because that's the 6th character. Then they want the last 7 characters of the names. Now it's going to be right. Do you agree with me? Because it's right, don. Are you all with me, darlings? Okay. I know it's an easy one, but I still like to use this because then I don't have to worry about where to put in the inverted commas and whatsoever. You just put in the 7s and all of that, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, are you all comfortable with that? Can you see Chuchu is going to have a space in front of it because remember the space is now included in the 7th character. Are you all comfortable to this point? Can I move on? Then they're asking you to use the appropriate function to calculate the most common age. Okay, now go back into Maths Lit grade 10. If I ask you the most common, it must the one that appears the most. So when I say go back to Maths Lit, it's mode. Do you remember that? Mode. It must the one that appears the most. So it's not a difficult one. Just ask yourself the question, mode. Okay, you can double click. This is an easy one because you literally just have to select the age. Where's the ages? Here it is. And you're going to press enter. Okay. It's funny though because I just want to see here is that shouldn't obviously be copied. Why would it need to be copied? It doesn't make sense. You understand that it doesn't make sense to copy this. Why would you copy a mode? Okay, but anyway, I think what they probably want is then to use F4 on both sides. That's the only thing that I can think that you can get because it needs to stay 26 all the time. You understand what I did here? Okay. I think it's a mistake. I think I should have, you know what I would have done? I would have put it here as a singular question. Do you agree with me? It must only be one answer. Okay, but anyway, let's do the 26. Let's do it like that, like the F4. Okay, let's quickly go now to use the appropriate function to display the names of the male salespersons. If the salesperson is a female, the answer should be lady. Why are my boys going like this? Because we know it's our favorite if. But it's not the nested if. And you did so well in the nested if. So maybe you should go and study that formula again. Nah, it worked for me. So I'm sure it will work for you. Do you still remember that? Okay, I will see if I can maybe just revise that. Okay, so we're going to start with equal. We're going to go to fx because it's just the if. So we can use that. What is the logical test? They want to know, display the names of the male. Okay, so they want the gender to be displayed. When must the gender be displayed? If it's male, né? But if it's not male, it must be lady. Okay. But now look here. What am I doing wrong? Remember, any H lookup or V lookup or count if or sum if always have a range. In other words, it's going to say D7 to D8 or whatever. Okay, are you with me? The moment I've put in D7, that should have also warned me. A if function in itself needs to have a criteria. What must D7 be compared to what? It must be equal to mile. Do you remember that? Do not say equal to D7, please. Type out the name, put it in inverted commas because it's text. If it was a number, like let's say, if it was bigger than 28, you don't have to do that. Then you just have to use your operators. Bigger as, smaller as, equal. Ne? Remember, the equal sign always comes after the bigger and the smaller as. Ne? Just a quick note on that. Okay, let's see if our if function is working. Yes, it is, because that's a female and it's representing, oopsie, sorry. Let's just copy that down. Yes, it looks like those two needs to be lady. Yes, it is working. Are you with me? That is done. Okay, the rest is done. Darlings, please just look at the FX quickly for me. Did you see here? I just want to quickly see something. I think I am right in saying this, but let's just see. Yeah. If you type this in, the text must be in inverted commas. That makes sense to you because you're creating it. But here, you do not have to put it in because it is already a field on its own. I didn't put in that inverted commas there. Do you understand the difference? Okay. All right. So just take note of that. Okay. I'm happy with my if function. It is actually a very nice, one so far. Calculate and display the highest price. Okay, let's just ensure that we are using the correct one. They want it just in column I, so they want it here. What is highest? I'm taking you back into your N4. Highest is max, okay, not large. What is the difference between large and max? You two were sitting in my N4 class just recently. Large is when I ask you, Usain Bolt ran. You know who Usain Bolt is, eh? Fastest man a couple of years ago. Obviously for him, if I wanted to know if he was second last or his running time, then the fastest time will obviously be the smallest time. But I want the second smallest time. Are you with me? So with a runner, it's always going to be smallest because it's fastest. Just take that. They like to do that sometimes. But small and large is when it's in between. Okay. So let me quickly take an example. If I say equals small and I want the second eldest, second youngest person, I'm going to do this. Look here. Second, comma 2. Are you with me? When I want the third oldest person, then it's going to be large. Okay, I'm just quickly doing this. You never know what you're going to get, ne? And it's going to be comma 3. Are you with me? Third largest. Yes, if you want to be technical, you can obviously use the highest price and you can say largest, comma 0. I get that, or comma 1. But if an examiner wants to be critical, it has to be max. Are you with me? Highest price, here we go. Okay. Lowest price, min, not. Do you understand the difference? Okay. Do not include now the highest price. Can you see it must stop there? Then average. This is also an enforcing. Very easy. But if you don't revise it, it might not be as easy. Average. And then do not select the other two. Okay. Are you with me? And then let's quickly go to the number of core prices. Oh, I like this one. It can only be count or count A. If it is text, in other words, if I asked you to count the names of the cars, it would have been count A. A is the first letter of the alphabet is text. This is not text. Do you understand the difference between count and sum? Sum is if I say I want the total. So you're adding this on a calculator. Don. Count is I want the items. According to the prices, there's 1 price, 2 price, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 prices. Are you with me, darlings? Okay. So it's going to be count, not count I. This is an easy one. I don't use for N4. I don't use. By the way, just for interest sake, count I works on both. Okay, but yeah, don't do count I. I just want to show you. Okay, it's going to be wrong because they want you to know the difference, but I'm just showing you that count I does work, but count I doesn't. Count is not going to work on text. Okay, but just for the fun of it. All right, we have done all of that. Now, they are asking you to sort the entire spreadsheet according to cell persons. Now, please, for the sake of me, you cannot sort the whole thing. I mean, that's most now doing something that's not right. This is the only thing you can really sort. Are you with me? Okay. So you're going to go to custom sort and you're going to say sort by cell persons and they want it A to Z and Bob's your uncle. Are you with me, darlings? So it's really just keep your brain intact. Okay. Now let's do the pivot table. Okay. Remember, not difficult. Okay. But if you have not done this before, it might be difficult for you. Okay. But all of you should have done it because I could see in your question papers, most of you had a full-on idea or none. Okay. Now, please, I know it's been long now. We've already been busy for an hour, but we need to just stay put. If I ask you to highlight the cells from B6 ... you're not going to do it like that. Nee? Remember, we are going to ignore that first sentence and we are going to go to insert a pivot table in B18. Now, obviously, this isn't supposed to be here. This was part of something else. So I'm going to go to B18, which is here. Are you with me? Not in the whole thing. You're not going to highlight B18 to E26, just that one. Then you are going to go to insert and you're going to say pivot chart and you're going to choose the pivot table. Then you are going to choose your table range according to B6 all the way to I13. Are you with me, darlings? Okay. Then you are going to click there. Then you're going to say, okay. You're going to delete the chart for now. Okay. Then what's the next thing? I hope this is coming back to you now. You are ignoring axes and values and all of that stuff. It's just going to confuse you. You are just looking for the words. Salesperson is a word. Are you with me? Experience in years is a word. Age is a word. Years in Gauteng is a word. Okay? And then they are asking for the sum of the three values. Okay? There is the sum. They don't really ask for the average. So you can say remove that field. Are you with me, darlings? You can actually remove all of those fields because they only want, they want all values. Sorry. There it's back again. Sorry, I didn't read that part, but that's how you remove it if you need to remove it. Okay, there is one thing I just want to show you, and that is if you need to update the field. Let's say they want it not to say sum, then you must click on that and you say value fields, and then you can change it to count and done and done. I have seen it in a question paper. Maybe it's in this one. But can you see how you can change it? So if they say they want count, you go there and you choose count. Okay, let me quickly show you again. You click on it and you say value field settings and you choose the one that they want. Okay, by default, it will give you the sum. Are you with me? All right. Now, here is my lovely table. Now, please, there's something I just want to show you because I don't think they're asking this for us. No, they're not. They've asked you to filter things. Do you remember that? Okay. It was weirdly asked. But please look for that word saying filter. They said in the internal exam, filter the work hours. Let's say I say filter the experience in years. Look at what you're going to do. You're going to drag it there. Can you see here appears this, a filter. There was another one. I'm still going to choose age now. Okay. Can you see there's two filters? You must now, then they ask you to only choose, I think they said a specific one. Let's say I only want the experience 10. Then you must choose that. Or they said age and then you must choose that one. Can you see it's almost like a query and access. It gives you that. Okay, but they didn't ask that. So just leave it there. If this happens and your stuff is there, Makar, just at least put in the filters for me, then you get that more. You'll maybe lose the others. Okay, let's go to insert a clustered column pivot table of the pivot table in the cells. Okay, these questions read very dense. What I'm trying to say, it's not easy for me even to read it. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be complete havoc. It's asking you to insert a clustered column pivot graph of the pivot table in the cells. Remember, you must be clicked in the pivot table. If you're clicked outside of it and you're going to go to pivot chart, guess what? It's not going to give you it. You're going to click there and you have to choose now the chart. It's asking you for a clustered column chart. Now, I just choose the first one because that is what it is. And then they're asking you to edit the graph. Now, this is not a difficult one, but you need to understand what you're doing. All right. Everything you need is under the design button of the graph in elements. All your accesses, your title, your grid lines, everything you need is here. This is your best friend. Okay. Read I. It says add a graph title in the first row of the graph title, salespersons, and key in your examination number in the second row. They love this. In N4, they also did this. There is no title. So you must go and click on the table, click on the design, go to the element and say access chart title and say above the chart because that's what they ask. Now look here. They are asking, you can just start typing there by deleting backspace. First of all, it needs to be in capital letters. Okay, so you need to say salespersons. Now look here, because you are working in Excel, you have the tendency to use your calculator numslock. You can go and put in enter on your numslock until you blue in the face. It's not going to give you a new line. The only enter that works in the title box of a graph is the enter in the middle. Are you with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? The big enter one in the middle of your keyboard. You press that, it gives you a new line. You're going to put your examination number in there, which is your ID, which is whatever you are. Are you with me, darlings? Okay, let's carry on. Draw a thick line border around the graph. Again, everything you need is in here. So check it out. It's not an element. It's actually a format. That's how they test your knowledge. Border is a format editing. Okay? This is actually a shape, but the shape doesn't have a border. A shape has an outline. Okay? Same thing. This is what they want, a thick border. They don't say what size, but that is not thick. Okay, you must use your logic there. So I'm going to put a 6 one there for them so that I can see, you can see it's a thick one. Add data labels, display the legends. Those are all elements. So we're going to find it not under the format button, but under the design button. Go to the elements and click them off. Data labels. is here. They don't specify. Oh, they do. They say below. So it's going to be, where do they want it? Because below. Labels, they don't say which one. So I'm just going to put it in the inside there where they can see it. But I want the legend, sorry, to be below. The legend must be at the bottom. Below is at the bottom. Ne? Synonyms. There it is. And then change the H range in the graph. They like that. They've asked that in the previous question paper for you as well. Do you remember that? First, make sure what is the H. Can you see the H is not the blue, it's not the gray, it's the orange. Make sure you click on the orange, right click and say change the series chart type. Now, darlings, you've already had 2 now. In the internal and now, you had the practice of changing this to a line graph. Let's say they ask something else. They want an area or they want the pie. That's going to look weird. But yeah, I can't really see how they can like combine either. But just be mindful of that's how you change it. And if you at least get to this point, don't choose the wrong one for heaven's sake. You need to do the orange. Okay? So just choose the line graph, say okay, and pop your uncle. Are you with me? Okay. That's about it. I don't think there was anything else. Okay. Now, what bothers me a bit is they do say that you need to put it into F. They want it here. F there. F21. That is, so just move it there. Remember, if they want the chart in a new sheet, you right click, you say move chart, you say new sheet. You can rename it if you want to, but I'm not going to see the name. You're going to say okay, and you're going to print this. File, print. Are you with me? Okay. Just remember, you'll have to put in your header again if that is the case. So this was N5 work. I don't know if you remember that. They might ask you this. I can ask you that. Remember, in the internal, they asked you to put the whole thing of the table into a new sheet. Then you had to insert a new sheet and start from the pivot table somewhere here. And it interlinked onto the new sheet. But okay, that was for that. Let's quickly go to number 9. It says use the data in the H column and insert spark line graphs in the following cells. Okay. B28. You are going to go to the spark lines. You're going to choose the data range. They want it for the H. Do you agree with me? So you're going to click that. And you're going to say, okay, and it's going to make that. Then you're going to go to B30 and you are going to choose again, insert your spark ones, but now they want it, it looks like they want it all on the edge. So you're going to choose the edge again. And okay. And then the last one is in B32. Again, insert win and loss. Choose the data range. Again, it's going to be this. Sorry, not that one. Yippee. That one. Okay. And it's going to give you that. And then they are asking you to change the rows of that height. So you can either say control and select them separately and right click and say row height and put in to 35, or you can do it separately. Okay. It doesn't look like you did it anyway. So you have to do it separately. Then row height 35, press enter, click here. Row height, right click and 35, press enter. And then in the previous one, they actually also asked for the borders. A lot of you lost that. Just go to the borders and put in an outside border around each of that. Okay, it's not difficult, but it's just extra. All right, then insert the picture sports score that has been saved in the student file. Let's quickly do that. That is in cell D29. So it's over here. And it's important that you do I just want to quickly check that you understand how to do the size. So we'll just quickly revise that. May 24 sports car, there it is. They are asking for the picture to be 3,81 in height and in width. Okay, so you're going to click there. Remember, the size is there. The lock aspect ratio must be switched off. Then you're going to, don't worry about the centimeters, but read the height. The height must be 3.81, not comma. We're not working on a laptop. And 6.35 in width. And you're going to say, click just somewhere else. It will resize. I don't think they ask. Oh, they do ask for a border. Again, click there. Go to picture border. Go to the white. Do the, I think it's 2 point. Sorry. Only 2 points. So you'll have to go into a solid line and actually do it here. Okay, they were very tricky about that. Okay, and then the last one there is to put in a footer. Very easy. Again, insert, but don't throw this away. Insert, go to footer, put it in there. It says it must be in the center. It must be in italics. So change it to italics. It must be bold. It's already in the center. It must be 16 points. And it must say staff information worksheet. Okay. And click somewhere else before you press escape. And then let's just make sure when you print it, it's going to be on one page. Okay. Make sure of your borders if there is any border. Okay, let's just quickly go into question 8B. By now, you should know that you obviously have to save this. Go out of this. This was obviously supposed to be saved as question 8A. Save it. And then when you close everything up, you're going to retrieve 8A again. Please, you need to get into this now. To have a habit of you're in a new question, you get a mark for that. Change that now from 8A. You're going to change the header to obviously 8B. Okay, 8B. And then click somewhere else so that it's grabbed. And then you're going to hide the columns. Okay, please, some of you also forgot to do that. You're going to right click. Hide column B. You're going to hide column C. You're going to hide column, looks like D, F, G. You can actually hide them all at the same time if it's next to one another. And then they also want, everything else is hide. You need to delete the picture and the footer. So that is easy. Just go in there, delete everything and center. Okay, this is also looks like that was the freebies. But we're not going to give freebies. How do you center this horizontally and vertically on the page? Where would you do that in Word? Page layout, size, more paper sizes, the sheet. And you can actually go, let me just quickly see here. I'm missing it now. Here, sorry, that in Word, it's in layout. You're going to go to margins, click both of them. Are you with me, darlings? Let's quickly do it again. You're going to go to page layout, size, more paper sizes. You're going to go to margins, select both, say okay. Then they also like to ask you sometimes to select a specific printing area. Okay, you've seen that, I think, in your test. How do you do that? You literally go and select what you want to print and you say file, print, and then here by active sheets, you choose the print, the selection. Are you with me? If they maybe ask you for cell A, this to that, you select it and then here you say print selection. Just make sure that number 6 is done. Okay? Very easy. You can go to formulas and say show formulas, or you can use my control slangy key. Okay? Easy. Make sure that all your things are or can be read. This is something some of you forget to do. You must. I can't mark your stuff if it looks like that, darlings. I cannot. So please just make sure everything fits in. You can now see you can make this a little bit smaller. Double click. This must be bigger. I need to see everything, but it needs to fit in on one page. Are you with me? Okay, I think that was about it. And then remember at number 9, if they ask you, this is also something that you forget to do in the internal exam, with row. Read your last number 9 or 10 or whatever number it is. Don't stop reading when you say, you read print and then you think you know what they ask. You don't. Go to page layout and ask the headings to be printed. Can you see it's printed there? If you go to file print now, obviously I've selected only was now that. Let's just do it again. File, print, the selection. Can you see it's vertically and horizontally nicely centered, as well as ABCs and 1, 2, 3 are there. Okay. One page landscape. All right. Okay, darlings, that was actually not a bad Excel. Let me just stop the recording. That was not a bad one. Did we say we're going to carry on till 11:30, Musne? Hello? Okay. I'm going to go over into OneNote now. If you feel like you need a smoke break and you can afford not to listen to OneNote, then you can leave. Is there anybody that would rather want me to do Word first and then OneNote? Okay, let's do it. I'll do both, even if I have to do it afterwards. Can you just give me an indication? OneNote first, put up your hand. I'm going to do it democratically. Okay, Word is obviously then the lesser. Sorry, democratically we'll have to do that. Are you still fine? Can I just carry on with OneNote? Okay, let's quickly do the calendar. We're going to meet now and we're going to call it CPN 6 OneNote, and it's going to be now May 2024. Okay, let's start the meeting. Okay. I'm just going to take a sip of water.